What is up, YouTube? Bobbles and Ball Cards back with another video. I bet you guys thought that I gave up already, that you had gotten rid of me, that I was not going to keep doing videos, and that you were going to call my bluff. But you are wrong. I did miss a couple days. I was trying to continue on a Monday, Wednesday, Friday schedule. However, Monday I had a complete HVAC system installed, and I was just after all day and people here at the house doing that, I just didn't feel like recording a video. Yesterday, Wednesday, I had people come and clean my air duct vents throughout the whole house on all three levels, and again, just didn't feel like getting on recording a video. Hopefully things around the household and people coming and doing things or whatever, doing work, is cooled off for a little bit, at least for the temporary time being. So hopefully I can get back into doing the videos. But anyway, I wanted to share some thoughts real quick. I do have a couple cards I'm going to share. But there's been some hot button, I guess, topics you could say that have floated around within the YouTube verse, the content verse. One of them is the debate between vintage and the modern, ultra modern space, whatever you want to call it. And then Carlos did a video with the topic about can you collect without watching the games? This is something that I've heard discussed in the past as well. Both topics actually seem to be brought up or phrased pretty often in the space. And so I just wanted to give, me and Carlos and Eric talked about the vintage modern thing a bit when we recorded Monday night, and that video dropped Tuesday morning. So go over there and check that podcast out. It's a lot of fun. It's on the Because I'm Carlos channel. It's with me, Carlos, and Eric, and they come out every Tuesday morning. So go check that out if you want to hear that conversation. But I wanted to just touch a little bit. I am someone, I have some vintage cards still, but I did get rid of some of my vintage. I got rid of some very, I guess, iconic vintage, if you want to call it that. And people might wonder why I did that. And the answer I'm going to say is simple. Your vintage purists, your true, air quotes, collectors might say I'm in the wrong for this, but why did I get rid of some of them? And I'll just name a few cards that I've sold. My Gaudy Ruth, my Gaudy Gehrig, a 52 Bowman Mantle, 51 Bowman Willie Mays. What else do I sell? Clemente rookie, Koufax rookie. So some of your more known items, right? And you might say, well, why did you do that? Why did you do that? And I want to first say, I don't understand the debate and why you hear it most loudly from the vintage guys talking about the modern and ultra modern stuff. That's where you hear most of it, the chatter. And people might wonder, well, why would you sell this? In fact, Eric asked me when I told him I had sold my Mays rookie, how could you let yourself let such an iconic card go? And the answer is fairly simple. I was buying those cards because they were something that we always looked at, always seen in the magazines and stuff, and thought we would never own. They were always the mysterious cards that never thought I could afford, especially as a kid and you looked at how much they were and stuff. But when I got into it, I started realizing this is a hobby. Collecting cards is supposed to be a hobby. And quite frankly, I am not the individual that is known for dropping large amounts of cash like that, purchase after purchase after purchase. And I was realizing I enjoyed accomplishing those goals. I enjoyed owning and saying I owned those cards. But at the same time, there is this ability to appreciate something and not need to own it. And does that make me any less of a collector? That's a question I would like to ask you. I can appreciate a Gaudy Ruth. I can appreciate the Gaudy Garrick. I have the stories behind getting them. I have the memories, the pictures, all of that. But does it make me less of a collector because I let them go? If that's not the style or the approach that I really am passionate about when it comes to the hobby and card collecting. And I don't mean era. I don't mean modern and vintage. When you're dropping $1,000+ many times to get this card, and then to get this one, and then to get this one, and then to get this one, and each time you do it, you just don't feel great about it. And I've had different stages going through this cycle. Dropping $1,000 on a case to open, man, don't do that anymore. And believe me, the past couple years, changing what I do to make a living, I actually have more expendable income to be able to do those things. Call it becoming more responsible. Call it getting back to the comfort level, the happiness of the hobby, where I enjoy being. I don't know. Call it whatever you wish. But I actually enjoy just collecting the players, the teams, and the sets/inserts that I'm a fan of, I appreciate, I enjoy. I don't need to be accepted as a collector just because I'm not showing the Ruth or the Gehrig or whatever. That's not what is important to me anymore. What is important to me is that I am having fun. I am obtaining things that I enjoy. I've been sharing this collection and going through and doing this journey through my collection to show you guys the depth and the level and the amount and how much I actually enjoy collecting without the need of the flashy $1,000+ cards, the expensive vintage cards. Because the stuff I've been sharing is stuff that I really have fun with. And to me, that is what makes a hobby great. I choose to do it my way. I choose to do it what makes me happy. I choose to do it with players and teams that I enjoy. Now, I'm going to flip that over into the watching the games, because that's another topic that's been discussed. You're not a collector if you're not watching the games. And I find that very false as well, because going back to vintage, I can assure you that there's probably many vintage cards that are being bought and collected all the time of players that an individual never has watched a second of. They weren't even alive when the person was playing. There may not be footage of the person playing. Does that make that irrelevant? No. But I want to give you today's timing. So, as many know, I enjoy collecting Dallas Stars And a lot of people know I collect Jason Robertson. And as with many times where people begin collecting a player or whatever, in many cases it might be their rookie season. Maybe they've heard, maybe they're a fan of a team and there's a new rookie and you haven't really seen much of him, if at anything at all, but you want to follow this player's career. For me, that is the epitome of how I got into being a Dallas Stars fan. I did not know much at all about hockey. I was not a hockey collector. I had just started getting into it. I had bought some packs of Upper Deck. I had bought a Gretzky rookie. I had bought an Ovechkin Young Gun. But when Jason Robertson, and we had open product, and everybody was chasing Alexis Lafreniere, and Jason Robertson came in, and I believe it was within his first 10 professional games, he had a 6-game point streak. I wasn't very familiar with hockey. I had never watched him play. I was just hearing, reading, trying to keep up with, names or whatever. That stood out to me, and I said, this kid's still young, and everybody's spending all this money on this Lafreniere kid. I'm going to buy me some Jason Robertsons. And that's what I did. Now, of course, my collection would have been much better and much cheaper had the Upper Deck production not gotten so far behind. But just that simple decision, without me ever watching the games or anything, got me into following the Dallas Stars. And now I am a fan of the Dallas Stars. I don't catch every game, but I do catch games on occasion. I do enjoy more than just Robertson now. I buy Tyler Seguin and Rupe Hintz and Jamie Benn and Ottinger and Tyler Seguin. There's a lot of players on that team that I like and follow. Wyatt Johnston. But my point to that is I hadn't watched the games. And I became a fan and a collector before watching the games. We have so much available to us today with YouTube highlights, with Sports Center, with the radio, with podcasts, with just a plethora of different sports websites that we can go on and read, articles of that sort of thing. We can watch highlights of games. We can catch top 10 plays or whatever. A lot of that wasn't available to us as kids. And I think we're carrying a lot of that same stuff as kids, which, by the way, I collected the hell out of cards when I was a kid. And guess what? I very rarely got to watch a game. I did not have cable TV in my room. I had rabbit ears that hardly picked anything up. What did I do? I settled for the box scores in the newspaper. I settled for collecting the sets. I settled for looking at Beckett Magazine and reading the articles and learning about players there. That sort of thing. That's where I learned most of the cards, most about the players and that sort of stuff. I did not get to watch many games. If I went to my grandparents, my grandfather would sit down and watch games with me. They would record the Super Bowl if I wasn't able to watch the Super Bowl so I could watch it on VHS. But outside of that, I didn't get to watch a lot of games. So to answer the question of can you still be a collector without watching the games? Abso-freaking-lutely. You absolutely can. And there's many, many, many people that do. Now I know all of this talk is because of the investors and the flippers and the breaking and the gambling and all of that. Don't get me wrong. I know there is a ton of silliness out there. But guys, we all need to just stop. We need to enjoy what we enjoy, appreciate each other, appreciate each other's collections and the passion that they have, other people have for what they collect, and stop gatekeeping. Stop feeling that you're better than anyone else, especially if you can see that they're having fun. Stop bashing each other and maybe talk to each other. Find out why somebody might like a newer player rather than, a player, a great from the 50s. Maybe there's a reason. Maybe there's a connection, But anyway, I'm going to get off the soapbox. And I got a couple cards I want to share with you guys, but I just thought I would take a moment since, let's see here. If it will let me. Nope. Why isn't it going back to this in camera? There we go. I hit the wrong thing. Shrink me down. All right, there we go. So this is just some mail so far this year. It's another thing that I want to talk about in a future video, but starting off the year, today is February 20th. I shared last year like what I had spent on cards throughout the year, and I want to talk in some point about the buying habits, I guess, of people today, and especially in today. But I'm going to show you guys what I have here. I'm waiting on 2 other cards. I'm hoping at some point they ship, but this buyer I bought them from isn't the most reputable. But anyway, first up is a Jason Robertson. I spoke of him earlier. I bought this from a hobby friend. It is a Ruby's Prospects from, it's out of a Metal Universe product, but it is actually Skybox Premium. It's numbered out of 50 there. So added that one. That was my first buy of the year. My second buy is a Jacoby Jones National Treasures auto, the rookie auto, numbered out of 299 there. I kind of shared in my football stories video, my daughter absolutely loved Jacoby Jones, even more when he got on Dancing with the Stars and won there. But she got to meet him, got his autograph. She has an autographed jersey of him. But this dude was such an important part of that Super Bowl run. The big catch against Denver and the plays in the Super Bowl were just amazing. It was really sad hearing that he passed away. It also happened on my birthday. So I've been picking up more of his stuff now that it's came back down. I had a few things of his, but now I've been trying to pick up more just because I don't want it to get soaked up or go up in price or whatever, since he's not with us anymore. Next up is a 2000 Pacific Aurora. This is a Jamal Lewis rookie auto. I like how he just signed real big with the gold ink. I like the image, how it has the college and the pro jersey there. And this card is supposedly limited to only like I think it's 392 or 329. I might have the numbers backwards, but it's under 400 copies, and they don't pop up that much. And I think I paid like $16 all in for this. I have a pretty good little stash of Jamal Lewis stuff. Obviously, he won the first Super Bowl with the Ravens. He was on the team. And it just he was somebody that made me think about Saquon Barkley's season this year, because Lewis was a 2,000-plus yard rusher as well. He's won a Super Bowl. He had over 100 yards and a touchdown in the Super Bowl. But his cards are really, really cheap. Now, he didn't have a lengthy career, but in the time he did play, he was pretty successful. So, he was a Raven, obviously, and so I do have a pretty good stash of his stuff, but I didn't have an autograph, and I just thought that was an awesome copy. I love gold ink on signatures anyway. I like how he did it real big on the full frame of the card. So, but I just thought I would share those with you guys and just talk a little bit. Again, I'm being very, very serious. I've had moments where I've called stuff out, said it's stupid or whatever, been judgmental. And looking back on things and finding my happy place in the hobby again, has really just changed my whole attitude. Not only about what I'm doing, but about what everybody else is doing. It's really none of my damn business. Like, I don't care. If people want to spend money, then so be it. If they want to, rip a ton of wax, great. If they want to spend 5-6 figures on a card that I don't feel is worth anything near that, their prerogative, not my wallet. I've been watching prices on some cards from 2025 Topps, and I just laugh. I throw them on my watch list. They're cards I would be interested in buying, but I'm not going to pay that price. Call me cheap. I accept it, but I also know where I have the most fun, and just that's where I want to be. So if that isn't for you, that's perfectly fine. If you think I suck and I'm not a collector, that's your opinion. But anyway, guys, that's all I got for you. I do apologize again for missing a couple days, but y'all haven't gotten rid of me. More content to come. Appreciate all of you. As always, stay safe, stay healthy, and until the next video, I'm out.